leaving Davidsonville Historic State Park that was established in 1815. And hello everyone, Gabe the Izzard here. We are leaving on day number 8 of this road trip extravaganza. And we are going home. Home. We're going home. Thank you, E.T. But not before we make a few other stops on the way. We are about 200-ish miles away from home. We still have some more exploring to do. Go ahead, tag along. Made it to the town of Black Rock, standing in front of the community center. We're just going to take a walk down Main Street and show you some of the incredible buildings that are here in this small town. Across from this general store is this old, what I call giraffe style because of the rocks. It's a magnificent structure that travels on down 2 levels at least. That is boarded up, not for use. This guy's running home. I just love these angled style entries and this cool porch. It's really awesome. Here on the opposite corner is this rock building with another kind of matching one there. And then these structures. And then people's homes right down here. And it looks like a flea market right down there. Up on the corner is an old Ford dealership. It'd be so cool to live in a big, or just a regular rock house like that here on Main Street. I've now entered the town of Powhatan, which brings me to my next stop, this magnificent structure with the number of 1888 on it is right above the Powhatan Historic State Park. And this is what we're gonna check out right here. I think there's a visitor center, so I'm gonna have to pull up here and see. The visitor center is inside of this magnificent structure, the old courthouse. Going inside. This courthouse was restored in 1973. Upon entering, there is a safe. And then it actually says which rooms are which, like the tax collector, the assessor. He's got these great chandeliers. He's got an exhibit of the way life was living on the Black River. There's a mock-up of the courthouse, along with a few relics of the past. According to this sign, Powhatan was settled in 1803, and by 1820 had a ferry. And then in 1869, Powhatan becomes the county seat of Lawrence County. They have a dumbwaiter here, which goes up to the 2nd floor, and you can enter the vault. I'm in the vault. Wolf? Wolf? Where do these steps go? They go up. This is the view, looking down on the river. They've installed an elevator for the handicap accessible, and it's got a great smell of wood in here. And then here is the courthouse. The courtroom with seats for the jury, the judge, the prosecution, and an old stove. Guilty. Guilty as charged. And here are the judge's chambers. Good. The heck? You had a pretty decent view. They give tours, but we're just going to follow this map. We're at number 1, right there. According to the brochure, that's number 1 stop. That's number 2 stop, which I gotta say, that is a very clean restroom. And then number 3 is the jail right here. Just before the courthouse was built, this jail was built, and it was made out of limestone quarried from nearby. It deteriorated pretty quickly, and it was abandoned. It's been used as a movie theater, a canning kitchen, and honey processing plant. Building number 4 is this Northeast Arkansas Regional Archives building. And then number 5 is the Powhatan Male and Female Academy, established 1854, built in 1890. There's a water pump here if you get thirsty. All the doors seem to be locked. The shades are drawn. I'm gonna peek in this window here. See. It looks like there's artifacts. It looks like it's got an exhibit in here, but the doors are closed and the lights are off. This school was built in 1889 and was a unusual 2-room schoolhouse. You can see the desks there. Building number 6 is the park superintendent's residence. Other than the occasional semi-truck driving through, it's a quite peaceful area. Courthouse up there, and I'm walking down towards the Black River. Number 7 on the list are these columns, which are the remains of a former bridge that crossed over the Black River right there. And on the other side, you can see 2 more posts that match up with these. River's flowing pretty good, considering we're kind of in a drought. Number 8 is right over here. There's a gravel that leads down to a boat ramp. Nothing really to see here, but we're gonna make our way over here to number 9 and 10. This is a commercial building from 1888. And you can see here in this picture taken around 1910, this building is still here in the shadow of the courthouse, which is directly up there. I don't know if this is the same structure, but there is a log cabin right there, which is 1849-ish. According to this placard, you can see there's a building there. A structure like this cabin sat here, not this cabin, made of cypress, drawn from the river. Inside, they do have some furniture and a rug. You can see kind of what the cabin was like. Pretty cool cabin. Commercial business, river, all under the watchful eye of the all-seeing government. And just a short way down is the Powhatan Cemetery. It's actually on a hill a little bit higher than the courthouse. You can't see the courthouse from here because of the trees. Here's a few old monuments. Here's for Dr. Balfour, which was born in 1816 and died in 1884. Heading up closer to the top of the hill, seeing a little bit older stones. This plot belongs to the Matthews, and they were buried in here from late 1890s to 1909. This one actually 1871. Catherine, the wife of Benji Matthews. Here are some of those rock markers. Here's some children, son and daughter of the Wells, died in 1870 and 1875. And then here are the Wells. They outlived 1901. This looks like the headstone of Doc Brown from Back to the Future. The moss has gotten so bad on this A.W. Smith, you can barely read anything that's on here. I guess the Stewarts were a big part of the community because they have basically the top of the hill and some of the largest monuments. That's one old cedar tree right there. In just a 5-minute drive from the cemetery, we've made it to Lake Charles State Park. This is gonna be number 13. Powhatan was 12, this is 13. There is a trailhead, and we are going to walk on a trail. Gotta get the passport stamped here at the visitor center. Knocking these state parks out left and right. 3 in one day. America. Good enough. Got a great general store area with fishing gear, hats, sunblock, chairs, charcoal, Dutch oven. Everything you need for camping. The state park has a few trails to take advantage of. We're right here by the nature center, which is right there. I think we're gonna just do this Mockingbird trail, which is a 0.75 loop, and then come back over and park at the visitor center, do the butterfly trail to the white oak trail, and it loops back. That's the plan, but it's a beautiful lake. Hopefully we'll get some cool lake views. Just over from the nature center is the children's playground. This is what's called the day use area because it has a swimming and picnic area. This is a man-made lake, by the way, Lake Charles. And pine trees. Lots of pine trees. Starting the mocker nut that way. Waste bin, a caution sign, and the beginning of the mocker nut, entering the woods. All right, about 50 feet in, and I've already encountered a face full of spider webs. Here's a little billy goat's gruff and a picnic table hidden up here in the woods. That's pretty neat. A slough of water. But the trails have already got the distinct Arkansas Trail vibe. A little more rugged, not necessarily difficult, but they have obstacles and it's not really wide and manicured, but it's still beautiful, and it's my hometown, my home state. And here is where decisions are meant to be made. Do you go this way and see the lake first, or you go this way, do the nature, and then do the grand finale of Lake. We'll see. Decision has been made. It's nature first, Lake as the grand finale. Path is pretty good, and it's marked with these arrows, which I just discovered. But I would say in a month, the amount of leaves that are going to fall on this path are going to be incredible, and will probably cover a lot of the trail. So you would need those arrows, and maybe a backpack blower. Can already start to see the lake coming out of the nature. I'm sure there's going to be a grand reveal eventually. Turtles jumping off the logs here, just disturbing them. But here we go. Here's the lake. Another shot of the lake. Swimming area, nature center right over there. And 0.8 miles later, just at 20 minutes, we are back at the nature center. I'm gonna go over there and hit the butterfly Mockingbird trail. Parked here in front of the visitor center, and we're gonna enter in this trailhead, which is the Butterflies and Blooms, which also leads into the White Oak Trail. This is a little bit wider trail, an easy trail, short trail that leads to the White Oak. There's a bench along this trail. It kind of gives you a nice little view of the park, or the nature part of the park. Scat. So a short 0.3 mile walk leads us to the White Oak Trail, which is into the woods. Took about 5 minutes to do that little 1/3 of a mile. Now, a little more rugged terrain, following blue arrows. A lot of commotion going on above me. There's the fence to the boundary of the state park, and then just beyond that, in that little prairie, deer stand. I don't know really what kind of trails I like. I like those well manicured ones in Indiana, but then again, walking on a little more of a rugged trail and stepping over rocks and trees makes it feel like a little more adventurous, like you're actually in nature's elements. Never mind the fact that these birds are squawking overhead. Somebody disturbed those ducks. Reached. Whoa! That fish just jumped straight out of the water. I just reached the lake portion, and you can see there's some private residences right over there. That fish was incredible. It's like what you see on TV. I don't know if you can really pick it up, but this stick is capturing so many spider webs. Not one, not two, not three, but 4 cedar trees growing out of the same location. Right down there. 1.1 miles later and 23 minutes later, we are at the end of the White Oak. and getting back on the butterfly to make it over to the car. All right, I'm just going to do a recap right now of Lake Charles State Park. Facilities are great. Hiking trails were great. The campsites, from what we've seen right over here, nice. They are equivalent to the Davidsonville that we stayed at last night. Nice smooth pads, RV hookups, tent pads, bathrooms, immaculate. Visitor center, great. The people that were working the visitor center, very nice. I would say I would come back here and maybe buy a Zebco 33 and spend the night and do some fishing, especially in that hole where I saw the bass go. Other than that, we're gonna have one more substantial stop on the way back home. It's 11:15 on a Friday. We have accomplished a lot. 2 full state parks, leaving that third one. What's next? You'll see. Jacksonport State Park. Well, actually, it just says Jacksonport up there. But we are at Jacksonport State Park, and this is the state park that we're going to be exploring. It's another courthouse. We're going in. Made our way to this beautiful visitor center right here on the grounds of the courthouse. This is behind the courthouse. We go in and get our passport stamped. The town of Jacksonport was established in 1834 when Thomas Todd Tunstall purchased the land and established the town, and it was used as the county seat in 1854 and was occupied by both Confederate and Union soldiers. And this is a nice little viewing area along the levee here, and then they have lots of exhibits upstairs. And the man said that he can give us a tour of the courthouse. We have a audio tour that you can do, or you can just walk on through and the lights will pop on all by themselves and the sounds come on. You can push the button. You didn't even have to push the button, it just popped on. Everything just turns on. I like the interactive sounds. Just gives you basic information about this area and the living in this time. River life. Here's a steam whistle. It's a great display. And then this overlooks the courthouse grounds. Here's a couple of displays of the old telephone. A Edison player. Here's the Ediphone. And a description of the telegraph. Nice little picnic areas out here, like these people are taking advantage of. And a memorial right here on the sidewalk heading into the courthouse. Statue for the Confederacy. and a cannon. Doors to the courthouse. And a little history of Jacksonport. Some articles from a steamship. The courthouse was abandoned and in 1950 looked like that. Had been restored through the 60s. And then in 1997 was hit by a tornado. Took the roof off. And now we have what we have here. Records of inmates of the poorhouse. Divers helmets for going out and getting mussels. From the pearly mussels, they made these buttons with a contraption like that. Lizzie Bord wrote the essay, Gone. Not Borden. What the county clerk's office would look like. A little history of the medicine of Jackson County here in Jacksonport. I did read in that poorhouse book that a guy died here of syphilis, but most common was consumption. Next time I'm feeling ill, I'm gonna see if I can get an opium with calomel hot bath turpentine ointment. It does have a wonderful smell of wood in here. Where do they go? They go up in a turning fashion. And here is the courthouse. Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Since this courthouse was built in 1870.
There's the outhouses. Holy shizzle. There's your gazebo. Another cool courthouse to walk through. It's a good thing that they're restoring these, because in the 1950s, I mean, there had been like about 100 years old. They made this thing into what it is now because it was deteriorating, and the state funds and private funds are what fixes these right here. Burn ban is on, so no fires in the fire ring. We're gonna go down here and check out the nature trail on the beautiful White River. White River is moving pretty good today, even though it still seems low. They do have a nature trail that starts here, kind of works its way down to where the camp area is. We're gonna start on it. If this double pecan tree doesn't blow your mind, then try this triple pecan tree. Bam! And just like that, we're at the end of the nature trail and into the campgrounds. They have 20 camp spaces here. We're not camping here. we're heading home. But it does look like a nice place. Shady areas, water, electricity, river, cool breeze. What else could you want? Well, we're hitting the trail back to the car. That's gonna do it for Lakeport. Wait, that's not Jacksonport. Keep thinking about the place down in Lake Chico. Jacksonport State Park. Number 13. Knocking these suckers out. We left number 11 today at Davidsonville. Went to, wait a minute. Went to Powhatan. That was 12. Went to Lake Charles. 13. 14. Number 14. It's hard to keep track. When you're in 4 state parks in one day, your head gets a little rattled. But that's number 14. Jacksonport. That's a pecan tree and a bench. Beautiful river. Wildflower area. Nature. Is this it? I don't know. It's all I have planned. That and a ride home. 2 hours? Less? Going to go to the car wash. Rinse that camper off. It's dusty. Thanks for watching. Hopefully, I'll have another one coming soon. Later.